Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Burning Truth.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Burning Truth. We're here. One of us is only going to be here for about 20-25 minutes and then I've got to shoot off to other engagements. We did mention last week I might not be here and we've bent some arrangements around.
Half a job.
And we were like, right, I can make it, but I can't make all of it.
So we'll have to make you and bend.
Yeah, so we're sort of bending the limits of time today. I am operating on Nathan Standard Time.
I'm just looking around.
This isn't Matthew Standard Time. This is Nathan Standard Time. We're sort of bending time.
So basically, it's more fucked up than mine.
It's going to be very touch and go because I've got to go pick some trophies up tonight as well.
And if you're touch and go, my advice is go to a doctor and get that checked out.
But no, so we're here. I've had quite an interesting week. I know you've been ill for most of the week, so your week's been spent playing with yourself. I mean, playing on a game.
Really?
Whereas I have got a very funny fact for you this week.
You're saying I've been, really? You going with that one?
Yes.
I've been bedridden.
So, this week, and this is the shit that I have to put up with at work that gets thrown around the office. So, for people that don't like taking paracetamol or antibiotics to cure diseases, right? So, I was speaking to someone, and the best "did you know this works to cure this" thing came out.
Wait. If you're going to do it, did you know?
Yeah. So, the clap. What do you think can cure the clap that isn't an antibiotic if you're a woman?
I am not answering this at all.
But do you know?
Honestly? No.
A clove of garlic. You shove it up the old Jack and Danny, and do you know what colour it turns? It turns blue. So it goes up there high and then it comes out blue. But supposedly, that is how, if you don't like antibiotics, you can cure the clap if you're a female. But could you imagine going back down on it afterwards? Fucking hell, that's going to stink of some garlic. If you're a vampire, you're fucked. That's it. I've wrote Matt Burns off.
I thought you meant Millie. What the hell?
I just say to you, it's some fucked up shit that gets thrown around in our office.
Fucked up shit. I wouldn't mind. Right. Yes, folks, we have started a little bit early. In case anybody's who's just about joining now. We have started a bit early.
And this is a wrestling podcast that started off with the sexual health clinic.
All I'm just going to say is, this is a wrestling podcast, broadcast and everything. We do talk wrestling and whatnot. But Mr. House MD over here decides to throw out some medical facts. Did you know?
In all fairness, I just sat there.
All I'm just saying is, Christ, we have... I was going to say audio discussion advised, but that's just gone out the window.
So, Bob,
Jesus!
I've seen your reaction. Now, I just sat there and I was creasing myself when this known fact came out in the office. And I was like, that's so good. That is something that I've got to share tomorrow.
Yes, I must share it on the broadcast. What the fuck? Right. I'm just going to... How the fuck do I continue from... Oh, move on to the next subject. Screw it. I know ways to resetting all this. Right. Across from me, Mr. House MD himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Nathan Goll.
Opposite me is the bewildered.
Bewildered?
He looked utterly confused.
What the...
It's Matt Burns.
Ow!
So, I know where we can move on from this.
Go on.
Velveteen versus Aleister Black. Best match of NXT by a mile.
They know how to work.
What a match.
Phenomenal. They both know each other well. They both trust each other. And I'd say match of the night. Easily.
Yeah.
And that's including having a War Games on, which I will get onto
Later. Well, much later.
Much later, unfortunately. However, when that subject comes, there will be a certain warning.
Yeah, and I will hopefully be out of the room.
You're basically hoping to be out of the what is it, the blast zone of it, because my views of that match, that we may not like.
But no, I was really impressed with the Velveteen match. Good psychology, and he's just proven that he is there and he can work with that gimmick.
Yeah,
there's so much more he could do with that gimmick now.
Exactly. And at first, if I'm honest with you, when I first watched it myself, when I first saw him, I didn't think he would be able to do anything with that gimmick. And yet, he's managed to make it work.
Because that's Patrick Clark.
Yes, it is. In case anybody in case not many people know. So that wasn't a spoiler.
No. If you watch Tough Enough, that is Patrick Clark. It's been actually a big week for Tough Enough.
Yeah, it has. And also NXT.
Yeah. But no, really good match. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. The ring psychology, the storytelling, just everything was there. How long is it till Aleister Black gets a call up? Do you think after Mania, or do you think they'll keep him in NXT for a little bit longer?
A little bit longer, because I think because of certain events, they need certain things to be held back.
Yeah. You mentioned NXT, so most people that debut from NXT get the Raw or SmackDown treatment.
Yes.
Now, who is Hideo Itami pissed off? What the fuck has he done backstage?
He hasn't upset anybody.
Hideo, you're being promoted. Really?
Yay!
Raw or SmackDown? 205 Live.
Damn! Which essentially is Raw.
But
essentially it's Raw.
Will he go to Raw, or will he sit on like the SmackDown after show?
I think, personally, he will be on. He will make an appearance on Raw. If he does terrible, then he'll just be on the 2-hour live show, and then into obscurity.
Because Neville has supposedly started mending some bridges as well,
yes,
and could return in the next couple of weeks.
Potentially.
Which could be Enzo's next feud.
Potentially.
Because they're lacking a number one contender for Enzo, aren't
at
they?
the moment, yes. As they've already dealt with that situation. Enzo. Hang on. Hideo Itami does hard work. Pisses somebody off, you get 205. What is it with pissing people off? Getting,
if you're going to piss someone off, you need to wait at least £220. Because then that way, you can't get sent to 205 Live.
So what you're saying is if you're going to upset somebody, don't be 205.
Don't be 205 or under. You need to be £206 or above.
So basically, in your mind, it's either then from there going back to NXT or to the independents.
I'd rather go back to NXT than go to 205 Live.
You think it's that bad?
How many stars have they created?
They've created some.
Go on.
They have.
Go on.
We've got Kalisto.
Star before.
They had Austin Aries.
Star before.
Oh, wait. No, Star before. Then we've got Enzo. Oh, wait. No, Star before. Jack Gallagher?
Yeah. God knows what they're trying to do with Jack Gallagher at the moment. Not even Jack Gallagher knows what Jack Gallagher's character's supposed to be.
It's almost like a bit of a try before you buy. And I think what's also not exactly helped is... Ready? Right, you're all 205. Let's bring in the British division. Oh wait, hang on. Isn't most of the British what class is most of the British weight division? What are they under?
205.
So what happened?
Shifted them over. But, and this is a really good segue, because I think Vince has realised that some of the divisions are actually getting a little bit stale.
Yeah.
So, what he's just done with the Raw and SmackDown Women's division, I think that's what he's trying to do with like the Cruiserweight division. Give it a reset. Because they've debuted 2 new characters on Raw, 3 on SmackDown, and Paige has returned. So you've brought in 3 new women on Raw, 3 new women on SmackDown. So if you're on like the...
How do you feel about that?
Not very well. But I'll come to that after, because I'm halfway through making a point. Okay. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time.
You queen.
So, no. So, they've come
Let me
back.
just iterate. That was queen. I just stated.
Wasn't. I'm taking him to HR afterwards.
Really? It was queen. I'm just basically stating that. I am not being judgmental.
I'm going to make a formal complaint.
You always complain.
Against the bully. Because I've had it up to my neck with him.
Oh, you're not referencing any old promos, are you?
No, of course not. So, before you interrupt me again, you Neanderthal. So, they brought him in to try and basically just shape everything up. So the women have got to up their game again, but so is the 205 Cruiserweight division. So people like Jack Gallagher can't rest on what they originally started, because they started off really well and then it's just gone a little bit meh. Whereas if you reset it, you bring more people in, people fighting for airtime.
Yeah.
Because it's no good having 10, 15, 20-minute matches at house shows if you can't have 5 or 10 minutes on the TV, because then people can get to know you on the TV and they look forward to seeing you at the house shows.
Yeah.
But Vince has brought in the women to sort of knock up the the freshness.
Make it fresh, make it less stale.
Does that mean that some of the lesser people, your Alicia Foxes, your Dana Brooks, are going to be pushed out of the door? And this is what some of the main roster divas are worried about.
Potentially, because a lot of stars I've just seen, usually when there's a large number of stars coming in, there's usually some stars going out. And we are around about that time, and they normally sometimes do a sales cut.
But, in the case of the women's division, would you bring in tag belts for the women's division?
Honestly, yes. I would.
Because you've got quite a deep female roster now. And it's only deeper with after the Mae Young Classic. So I actually think you could justify a tag division.
Yes, I agree. And I think that would be absolutely interesting, because
it gives a tag team like Bayley and Sasha something too if they're not going for the title.
Or if or they can create more dynamic from that.
Yeah, could you imagine Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss teaming up together and having a run with the tag belts?
Be interesting. And it also gives some of the NXT stars when they come up.
Yeah, so like your Billy Kays and your Peyton Royces, you could have them debut as a team.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're seen as in NXT. They are seen as a team.
Team.
It had more dynamic, and it also had more storylines, which could lead to more character development, which leads to better reactions.
Yes, and it's always good if you're seeing people being paired up, it's always good having that chemistry as well.
So that brings me into the actual, what I think of the debuts. So, the return Monday night...
Do I need to get the warning?
No, because it's just a very casual thought process. So, the return of Paige Monday night I thought was brilliant. Really good. The crowd reaction, second to none.
Yeah, it was. I have to agree with
Best crowd
that.
reaction I've seen for a return. Or just someone coming on to the Raw roster for quite a while.
What was so good about it is a lot of people think, oh, that was a good pop. Now imagine if that was on UK soil. I think that would have been bigger potentially. Potentially, if you noticed. Because I do think that was a big pop that she got. And what made it so good is the first line. Did you miss me?
Yeah, like the pandering, but then I'll go on to what I didn't like about the return afterwards, because there is something I didn't like about it.
I already know what it is.
Sonya Deville is there now, and then you've also got the blonde goddess. What's her name? Mandy Rose, which was off. Which is really ironic. Tough enough, because her and Paige didn't get along, which is why that sort of confuses me. But it confuses me. I can get over it. So
That's
they have
something
their
you can get
debut
over.
and tear the women's roster apart.
That you can get over, because at some point they may not have got along. Certain people's views on other people can change, and they might have actually seen the errors of the ways and actually agreed.
Yeah. So is she the next? So is Paige the next challenger for Alexa Bliss?
Honestly, at the moment, I think there's a possibility. But if that happens, it's going to turn Alexa face.
Is it? Because Paige came back as face. She could be cleansing, because they went after faces and heels. They did not.
So you're thinking tweener?
Yeah. Like, they weren't asked on who they took out.
Yeah.
And this is my problem with the return. The pop is a face pop. The actions that came were heel actions, but with a face response.
Yeah.
With the crowd going, one more time, and thank you, Paige. So, can you really turn Paige heel?
Yes.
How many...
No. You only asked the question if you can turn a heel. Yes. However, you never asked how to do it, which I don't know yet.
That quick off a return, she'd have to run over like 50,000 puppies, like, to turn heel. If it was 3 or 4 months in, I could understand it. But straight away, you can't turn a heel after a face pop. Whoever's trying to turn a heel backstage needs to have a long hard look in the mirror and say, I might have fucked up this part of the storyline. On SmackDown, it's worked. You've brought in 3 people who aren't known, and you can debut them as heels. That's basically like the female Shield, which would have been a brilliant debut if it hadn't been done the night before.
Yeah, so basically,
So
this week here, let's copy
and paste
into SmackDown.
But do you know the attack that they did backstage on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Which is very similar to the one that they did on Raw, but they did 2 instead of 1.
Yeah.
That's how they write Becky Lynch off now until the new year.
Yep.
Because do you know where Becky Lynch is going?
Where?
To film the Marine 6. There's fucking 5 other Marine films. There's 5 fucking other Marine films! Who in God's name has watched the first fucking 5?
What? What?
In all fairness, The Miz has starred in the last 3 if you include the one that he's doing now.
4.
But I thought Randy Orton was in one.
No.
Or was that 12 rounds too?
Oh no, it is. It'll be 3. Is it? No, it was John Cena,
Ted DiBiase.
Ted DiBiase, then Miz. Miz was 3rd.
Yeah, and this is the 6th one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or it's the 5th or the 6th one. Fucking God knows how they've got this far in.
Oh good lord. About 5th or 6th.
Yeah, but Becky Lynch is in this one.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels.
Hey.
So they're all on that. So obviously with Miz losing the Intercontinental title, that's how they've wrote the Miz off on Raw.
Yeah.
And with Becky being attacked by the debut of the NXT.
Ruby Riott, everybody.
Yeah, Ruby Riott and the other 2. That's how they've wrote Becky Lynch out. Obviously, you don't have to write Shawn Michaels out or anything, because all he does is just help out with the Performance Centre.
Yeah.
So
he's already clear.
yeah, so he was already cleared. So, but that's what that's led up to. But I just wish they did the SmackDown one a little bit differently.
Or a little bit later.
Yeah.
Instead of just going, oh look, we see what they're doing. Let's copy and paste.
But no, so that's that. At this point, this is where I make my exit.
Ah, right. Is it time to go?
So
Time to go. Yeah. Time to go.
So I've
time to
arrived.
Time to go. Time to go.
I've broke Matt Burns. and I'm going to leave.
No, basically what you just said is arrive, break shit, leave. Pretty much.
Yes.
Right.
So that was my flying visit to the Burning Truth.
That was the flying visit. So, just to get things moving along and whatnot, I'm going to go back to War Games because I have got to do the impending rant.
Good luck. Right there, folks.
Um,
Have a good week.
If you survive the rant. All I'm going to state is with the War Games, I think personally, I understood that they have to change certain rules and regulations because to modernise it and everything. However, you change too much. It wasn't War Games. That wasn't a match you have to survive. Basically, to make it more survival, how would you do that? Oh, we'll just make it so one person only has to be pinned. Really? It shouldn't be pinned. It should be the one person should be saying, I give up. I've had enough. I quit. I can't take it anymore. That's how it's meant to be a feud ender. The way it's been done does not make it look like a feud ender. It just seems like they're just going to be continuing it on. And the fact that you took the roof off? What the hell? That was essentially what made it look more dangerous. And they were able to do certain stuff using the ceiling. WWE, you had one job. And to make it look like War Games, that just looks like War Games 3/4. 3/4 of War Games. Because you've just taken out quite a few chunks of it. Yes, I will admit you had the 2 rings. So essentially, all you just did is turn that into 2 rings, cage match. But you're not allowed to escape the match. And if you try to escape, you get disqualified. Really? Anybody who watched WCW saw Hogan escape the cage, wasn't disqualified. Then Ultimate Warrior broke through the top, which the cage reverted back and shut closed behind him as he burst out, right, and chased Hogan. His team wasn't disqualified. If that was the case, then one team's already won immediately. So straight away there, if you're gonna do something, do it properly. If something's popular, War Games was something that should have been done properly, as how it was. Instead, you've tweaked, butchered, and done certain stuff. Now, yes, I understand you have certain rules and regulations in PG, but don't advertise a match that was potentially barbaric and then water it down. All you're doing is just tarnishing what it was. You're sort of tarnishing the memory of what it was. And we all know, and everyone knows who invented that match. Mr. Dusty Rhodes. The American Dream, baby. Amazing. Amazing genius, man, he was, to come up with that match. And I will say, I remember in all in the hype, you didn't, Arn Anderson stating you didn't win the match. You survived it. You survived the match. Now, out of all them that were involved in that, did it feel like you survived? Nope. It didn't. Now, it just feels like they just won it. So, I feel as though they've lessened the blow of War Games. And it's just going to be a regular occurrence or something. Doubtful, but who knows. If they do, they need the ceiling on the cage to make it look legit. It needs to look legit. Otherwise, it's not really the match. You're advertising. So anyway, that rants out, and we're going back to Raw. Now, this week on Raw, I will state it was, to me personally, I thought it was quite interesting. As you had Roman Reigns in the ring with The Miz. Now, a lot of people were stating, as soon as I saw the match getting hyped up, Miz versus Roman Reigns, I was like, there we go, new champion coming, and I know why. They made it. The problem with that is, the second they advertised it, you made it too predictable. Because you made it so Roman was going to go for the IC title to become a modern day Grand Slam champion. It's the only title that's actually escaped him. So he's won tag teams, he's won his main belt, and he's won the US. Now he's got to win the IC. However, this I will give them. When they were doing the promo, I noticed something different. Not sure if my colleague did or not. What I noticed is the crowd were actually getting behind him. Now, either that's a testament to how much of a heel Miz is playing, that he's actually able to legit get Roman over with the crowd, or something's changed. And personally, part of me thinks something has changed. And this is ever since he's come back. The crowd's actually been red hot with Roman lately. And it's actually taken Roman being ill with the mumps. Not the mumps. With actually being unwell with certain illnesses and whatnot. And then eventually come back. And he's now over. And I will say, it's good to see that he's now actually going over the crowd. And the fact that they did the whole Shield thing and now it seems to be working. The plan is working. He's getting over. But majorly, I think personally, the reason why he's getting over is because, yes, he won the IC title. But he's not going for the main title. And me personally, I think this is because it doesn't feel as though he's being rammed down people's throats, which is what a lot of fans have been asking for, not to be rammed down our throats. And I will state, some of the promos he's been doing with the Shield lately have been quite a lot better, and it's helping him get over as well, which is it's like an add-on on top of an add-on. So with all this, potentially you could have some people getting interested in the so-called planned WrestleMania main event, which everybody knows is going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar to defeat him for the championship after he kicked out of an F5, which will shock and gore. Problem is, you've already done it. So we know Roman can kick out the F5. Right. Now with that, as my colleague was stating, as we stated earlier with the whole women's division, yes, they did copy and paste, which did actually annoy myself and Nathan. But it happens. It does happen. Certain shows do actually watch each other and sort of copy and paste and see what happens. One thing I did find interesting though was the stuff on SmackDown between AJ Styles and Jinder Mahal. That I thought was absolutely interesting. And what I thought was quite scathing was when AJ made the comments about Jinder not being at Survivor Series at all, which the crowd picked up on, like, shots fired, shots fired. However, I did like, even though shots were fired, that Jinder sort of continued on and pushed on through, which was brilliant. I thought was really, really good. However, I do suspect that Jinder is going to be taking the championship back. And if that's the case, I think what they've done, they've taken off the belt off of Jinder and put it on AJ for a dream match moment, just for a quickie, instead of putting the original planned match, which they didn't think was going to get over as much. So they ended up switching it around, which, yes, does play off, and Brock sold AJ fantastically, which I know we haven't covered the Survivor Series results, which I will mention in a minute. But it just feels as though it's a bit unfair on Jinder because he has been doing his best. And if I'm honest with you, I actually think he's done quite a good heel thing. However, him being the champion because they were going for the Indian market, I think is wrong. However, I do actually think Jinder has earned his spot higher up the card than what he was. because the man has clearly shown his dedication, hard work, and everything. He's really put on a clinic, so it's good to see. Right. Now, let's get to Survivor Series itself. Some of the matches I thought absolutely brilliant. Definitely we'll watch again. And some others I just thought to myself, really? Are we doing this? Now, straight off, and I'll just go with the pre-show. Straight off, I will say, Elias defeated Matt Hardy. No biggie. It was more of like a thump move on. Enzo Amore defeating Kalisto. Saw it coming, we knew it. I did find it interesting that Owens and Zayn were on against Breezango on the pre-show. But I liked some of the stuff after. The fact that Stephanie actually turns up and starts praising them a bit, and then you got Sammy apologising. So they're showing a possible, either the possibility of if SmackDown do fire them, they'll just go straight to Raw. So we've got a potential of them jumping over to Raw and whatnot. So there is potential, but at the same time, are they going to, they could be trying to say this to SmackDown and then pushing their luck, pushing the envelope, seeing how far they can push Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Now, let's get on to the main show of it. The Shield defeating the New Day. I thought this was a great match, great six-man tag, back and forth. If I'm honest with you, I actually thought the New Day were going to win, but I am not disappointed that the Shield won. Far from it. I think this match was a anybody can win match, which I thought was very interesting and caught my attention. And it's a bit unique. So as soon as that, and I think, as soon as the match was over, it showed Shield standing tall, dominance, but at the same time with the New Day coming out in the back, you got the Usos saying, don't worry about it, we'll catch them up and everything. So it showed that they were trying the best to keep that brand, yes, certain wrestlers, certain teams hated each other, but they were showing on this one night this brand loyalty, which I thought was interesting. Now, with the Shield being bringing Raw up one, I expected the feat on the female 5-on-5 that SmackDown team was going to win because of the prediction later on with the males one. Because I expected at least one team have a piece on the 5-on-5. Instead, it's really surprised me because Team Raw ended up getting the win. However, I understood why they got the win, because they had Asuka on. And if anybody from Team SmackDown did get the pin, straight away, whoever pins Asuka is instantly going to get pretty much instant fame because they are pinning someone who is undefeated. And I thought it was a very interesting dynamic, and as soon as I saw that actually potentially threw certain ideas up with the main event McMahon side, because it made me question, would Kurt be losing his job? If he lost, would he be getting fired? Potentially, but more on that later. I thought it was interesting in certain aspects, but I think certain people went out far too quickly. With the women's match, I think they overshot it a little bit too much with the time, and they needed, in certain aspects. One thing I will state, Alicia Fox, she seems to be making mistakes with certain finishes quite often. So, could the whole bring up of the female roster be potentially bad, bad news for her being potentially replaced? Possibly. Now, one match I thought that was very interesting was the United States Champion Baron Corbin versus Intercontinental Champion The Miz. Now, straight away, me personally, I would have expected The Miz to be more of the cheered one than Baron Corbin, because Baron Corbin comes across as more of a big bad bully, where Miz is smaller. As much as he has his friends there to provide backup and assistance. But it goes to show how much of a character Miz is. how much of a, you know, deviant he can be, and the fact that he literally viciously attacked Baron Corbin's leg, you know, made it, he worked him, chopped him down like, you know, like a big redwood tree. Apologies for that, redwood tree, which I thought was really clever. It showed they were telling a story, and then you saw the Miz get cocky, getting cockier and cockier, and it ended up, you know, that ended up costing him trying to imitate Bryan. So straight away, what I find interesting with that is him trying to do Daniel Bryan, costing the match. So straight away, yes, he lost, but the Miz would find a way to argue it back, because the first thing, if I was Miz, I didn't really lose. I was copying Daniel Bryan, who always injured himself, or some comment like that, because he wasn't using his own move repertoire. If he did use his own move repertoire, he would have won. And it was so clever. Also, I did find it interesting at times when somebody was calling his so-called his yes kicks, the it kicks, because they are it. No, they are yes kicks. They are yes kicks through and through, regardless. I don't care what anybody else says. They are yes kicks, and that is final. It's funny though, and that, you know, and whatnot. But I didn't find it funny. But what was so interesting is they managed straight after, guys still cheering. Corbin kept his heat on him, which is stating, you know, he didn't do it for them. He hates the crowd, blah blah blah. Moved on. Now getting into the Usos versus Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar, great match. I have to say, this shows, because these pair faced each other last year, part of the Survivor Series. It just goes to show how well they work together. They're on opposite shows and they're still putting out matches like that. Absolutely fantastic. Would have been a potential match of the night. I will say, for tag matches, match of the night for tag matches. There you go, straight away. I thought it was great back and forth and everything with it, because you could see that each team knew each other and they worked so well. And it was nice to see the Usos getting the win against the Bar. Now, moving back to Corbin, I did find it interesting that he was the one to get the SmackDown run-up back on, where with Team Raw, the Team Raw women got it, so they were 2 up, and SmackDown then eventually caught back up. And then Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. I thought, me personally, I thought this match went on a bit too long. It just felt at times it just dragged, so it should have been a little bit less, possibly to save a bit more time for other matches, potentially. Because if I'm honest, I think Miz and Corbin could have had a bit more. So the women's match should have been a little bit less, but I'm not dissing that to say that they can't. I just think for the story that they were telling, yes, we understood some of it. It just felt like it dragged a bit. However, I'm happy with the results, with Charlotte Flair taking the win over Alexa Bliss, putting them back into putting SmackDown ahead of the game. So it was like Raw's up, SmackDown's caught up, and then SmackDown overtakes. I thought that was an interesting bit of dynamic and help present the whole card. But then straight away, most people would have known what with the next match it would have been a set result. I think if they actually put the 5-on-5 male one next, then it could have put the possibility of the Universal Championship between Brock Lesnar and WWE Champion into a realm of who the hell's going to win, because no one has a clue on that potentially. But now they decided to go with the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus WWE Champion AJ Styles, which Brock Lesnar did win with 1 F5. However, I thought a lot of people thought this match was just going to be ass kick, a bit like what happened with Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at SummerSlam, I think 2016. Yep, 2016 I think it was. I'll just get that reconfirmed just in case. I'm just checking that out now for you. I'm just checking it now. Because I do think, was it 2016? No, 2014. My mistake, apologies, 2014, not 2016. And that match was just Brock dominating, which I thought was interesting, to say the least. Now, what also interested me is the amount of leeway Brock gave to AJ to allow him to do certain aerial moves onto him, and I will say, absolutely fantastic. He hits him with a springboard 450, hits a phenomenal forearm. AJ's getting frustrated, rips off the elbow pad, saying he's going to nail him this time. Even though AJ lost, AJ looked like a legitimate badass, especially when the calf crusher got a hit, also known as the calf killer, depending on the independent scenes. And I will say, Brock sold that like a champ. He made AJ Styles look amazing. He made him look like he's legitimately hurting him. And what was so clever, when the match came to an end, Brock has won. Brock is still selling that leg. He is putting AJ over, as if to say, yeah, I won the match, but my God, he was close. My God. So straight away, he's got a lot of. He was able to put that legitimate into AJ, and I will say this: it was one of Brock's better matches recently, and I will say match of the night. I think personally, absolutely amazing. But then again, AJ, the phenomenal one. I was just about to say phenomenal match, but I don't want to make it sound too much of a bad pun. Now, moving on to the main event, Team Raw, male side versus Team SmackDown. This I thought was interesting, going back and forth, getting closer. The major problem I had with this match is that Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode just got fed to Braun Strowman when they're meant to be bringing up Shinsuke Nakamura potentially into a higher position. Nope. And Bobby Roode, nope. Because he's in the mid card. He ain't no Braun Strowman. Boom, straight out. To NXT star. So straight away you got Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, John Cena. It's like, oh, this is great. This is just what he needs. Now, straight after then, you got John Cena for, eliminating Samoa Joe, which, if I'm not mistaken, was at 18:10 into the match. Now, that I thought was fair enough because somebody had to go on the Raw side, and then they followed it. What surprised me after is they followed it up with Kurt Angle eliminating John Cena. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it was just an angle slam that had got him out. No, it wasn't. It was 2 angle slams and a coup de grace. So, that I will say, the moves that did it, what a way to put John Cena out. However, I just felt like that John Cena got out then surprised me because I expected him to be there a little bit more. It was almost like you got to just get in, eliminate Joe, and then you're out. Now, a lot of people didn't expect him to be wrestling this night because he was meant to be elsewhere doing a movie, and then eventually got turned into, oh no, he's going to be the special guest referee for Jinder Mahal and Brock Lesnar. Oh no, instead it's now on Team SmackDown. It was like with John, I think the reason why he didn't get to do much is because he didn't have anything for him. It was like, well, A, we didn't expect you here, and B, we've got nothing to do. We've got nothing to give you because we didn't know what to do with you. So basically, in fairness, I think Cena did what is best with what he could, and it was nice that he sort of was able to put Kurt Angle over and get the job done. Then Finn Balor was eliminated by Randy Orton with an RKO, which I expected Balor would go a little bit later, but then again, there is that rumour that supposedly Vince McMahon doesn't think Balor isn't quite over, and I do find it quite funny that some of the Twitter pictures that Finn Balor is putting over on Twitter. So if anybody's interested in that, do check it out. Now, next, so straight away, we've then got, in this match, Randy Orton, Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Braun Strowman. You know which side's going to win. Because you've got Braun Strowman, who's almost built like a tank. But for this match, what I did find interesting was how they temporarily took Braun Strowman out by having all members of Splatoon SmackDown suplex him into the announce table. But then he eventually got big. You knew he was going to come back into the match later on. Everybody knew he was coming back. Now, what annoyed me was the finish. Now, this could have been something that would have been really interesting. Now, they could have had it where Triple H and Kurt Angle start fighting, blah, 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 back and forth, back and forth. Then eventually them power falling out. Shane gets the quick roll up on Triple H. Boom. They're down to 2. Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman. Kurt Angle's losing his mind over it, and then eventually, somehow, if they really wanted to really put Shane over, if they really wanted to, they could have had him somehow get a sneaky roll up on Kurt. 1, 2, 3. Then Strowman and thingy. By then, Shane is completely kaput. But at the same time, Kurt's got to be breaking it because he didn't finish the job himself. And he's like, I've got to rely on somebody else. Putting his faith in him. And you could have teased Strowman either turning on Kurt, doing something and whatnot, but no. And then probably had Strowman finishing off Shane that way. Instead, what we got was Triple H putting himself over. How? Kurt, you try again. I'll climb in, pedigree your ass, make it look like I'm turning on Strowman. Yes, I've turned on you. Then to pedigree Shane like a double turn. Really? You had to do that just to put yourself over? I think that was a crappy way to shit on all your main event stars. You could see the panic, the fear. And I thought it was interesting how, yes, I get Strowman over more as a goody two-face, but at what expense? Burying the main division for Triple H to get the heat, and then Braun Strowman to take the heat off him. It just feels a little bit bad, and with that, I'm going to be basically calling this most likely a bit of a wrap-up for this week. Now, one piece of news I did actually have missed off. I'm just getting some details now to do with Marty Scurll. Just getting it up now. Because I believe he is just, in New Japan, he has come onto the New Japan Pro Wrestling scene, which I will state is absolutely fantastic. With him being a part of the 2017 Best of Super Juniors tournament. He finished the tournament with a record of 4 wins, 3 losses. Fell into advance to the final, which was unfortunate. Then at a power struggle, the event for New Japan on November 5th, he faced off against Will Ospreay and actually become the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So congratulations to Marty Scurll, the villain, on becoming the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And that's where I'm most likely going to leave it for today, folks. As always, we do recommend that you check out our website, which is www.theburningtruth.com. memorylanepodcast.co.uk. Check that out for, all of our latest broadcasts, latest interviews, and if you want to go down memory lane and check out, our history and whatnot. We're also going to be posting some additional blogs. Unfortunately, I've been held off on the blogs lately because of being unwell. Hopefully that should be changing soon and whatnot. We do recommend you check out Team 4-Star, Botchamania. Recommend you check out Changes for Healthy Minds and whatnot. Regardless of if it's not, even if it's not for yourself, it's still always good to check up on it. Just in case if you see certain signs, or you want to point somebody in the right direction towards this website, we do recommend you check it out. It is for a good cause. And if anybody wants to send us a message, they can either leave a message on our, comments on this episode through Spreaker, YouTube and whatnot. If you want to, click subscribe and then click on the bell to join notifications to be made aware of everything, and that's on YouTube. Or if you want to send any messages through Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, you're more than welcome to, or even email us directly, which you can either do at the burning truth at outlook.com, or if you at the time you can't remember the actual mail link and you're not too sure, you can either go to the website and click on the contact us, which then you can send an automatic email to us through there as well. So, and as always, I want to personally also recommend a band that I've actually gone to see myself personally, which is The New Breed. I actually know the bassist of the group, absolutely fantastic. Recommend anybody go and see them as well. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I even caught some sunglasses, which was mentioned last week, because if I'm not mistaken, Nathan actually said, well, every time I put them on, I look like Emma. Want to be, not happy with that. There are still some cool shades though. So with that, we'll hopefully see you at next week. As always, as we will hopefully still either be broadcasting an episode. If there is any changes, we will be posting that on Facebook, on our social media, stating that if we're not there next week, we will be posting that on. However, as always, we recommend you stay well, stay safe, and with that, I'll hopefully catch you at either the next broadcast, the next interview, the next review. So stay well, stay safe. Catch you later.